Hello everyone on replay. Shout out to yourselves. Welcome. We are at the beach in Santa Barbara. It's about 11 o'clock. Oh, there go the doggies. Hiya. I'm at the very far west end of Santa Barbara. As a matter of fact, the public road ends here at Bacara Resort, which is in the background there. So we're as far west as you can go in Santa Barbara. Walking the doggies. There they are. All kinds of things are going on here today. Those white poles you see with the black specks, right there, those are bird roosting nests. It's really beautiful. Yeah, I agree. Let me get the camera. There we go. So those things sticking out are there for the birds to roost on. Hey, good morning. I always forget to say this. Now remember, if you want other people to have a nice beach view, go ahead and hit share. So hit share on iOS, you swipe left to right. Android, I believe it's from down to up. Let's look this way toward the haze and the sun. Yeah, you do. Because then the birdies can take a little rest. So we have a lot of abandoned stuff here from the piers and from the beach, you know, supposedly to keep the cliffs from falling into the beach. This is still a public beach, although the Bacara Resort bought up a lot of the land, and part of their deal for building the resort was that they had to keep the beach access available. So they've actually built a nice little bathroom slash restaurant splash place you can rent kayaks and stuff. But in front of you, you see some of the abandoned piers from the oil companies, because there's a lot of oil off the shore. That is not a bird roosting nest. That is one of the oil derricks. And I have a lot of tar on my flip-flops right now because there's been some natural seepage here lately. And I just met a guy on the beach with one of those wheels, and I asked him what he was measuring, and he said they had tagged the kelp and they were counting to see how much of the kelp came back onto shore. Some of it goes out there to the Channel Islands, which you cannot see right now due to the sea haze. And then what they do is look at how it affects the nutrients in the ecosystem. He's a marine biologist, and that's about all I took away from it. It sounded very complicated. But they have tags on the sea kelp. And then he said that what happens is the kelp washes ashore, it gets eaten by critters, and the critters get eaten by other critters, and then some of it breaks down and goes back to the ocean. And with El Nino coming, hey, I'm fine. How are you? So with El Nino coming, they really want to see what's going on out there with the water warming up. He told me he goes surfing when we have the bioluminescence. So we've had these interesting creatures that change the color of the ocean, and he said he's gone night surfing because you can see from the bioluminescence of these creatures. Super interesting. Okay, there's doggy number one. There's doggy number one. Hi, Liberty. Yeah. And Keela ran off to some other stranger doggy. So in the background, you can see some of the freighters, the commercial freighters. We're closer now to the bird roost. We've got the two abandoned oil piers. So when I get under the piers, you'll get a pretty good view of the Bacara Resort, which I'll show you. There's a sandpiper. There we go. I grew up on the beach, and we always liked watching them because they'd stick their long beaks down and get the little sand crabs, the little sand dabs. So low tide was about an hour and a half ago, and when the tide comes in all the way, I have to be done with this walk because you can't pass. The water comes all the way up to these beach walls. So, oh, cool. Hang on 1 second. Good morning, that's me, Alexandra. Walking with the dogs. Alexandra Funfit on Instagram as well. And of course on Twitter. Our blog is funandfit.org, not .com. So hang on. There. Cute doggy number one. Come on, Liberty. All right, we're going under one of the piers. So you get if the waves are picking up, you can see them crashing against this pier, which I always try to get pictures of. It's pretty cool. But since it's not high tide, they're not crashing that strong. We don't have a very strong current today. Oh, the dogs are trying to figure out how to get those birds. Those birds. Good luck. Okay. So, yeah, good girl. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can, let me zoom in. I don't know unless you can see. Can you see the birds on top as I zoom in? Not sure. Nah, it's not such a strong current, so not a lot of waves crashing. When the waves crash against these old piers, it's actually really cool. This one might do it. Looks like slightly bigger. When I walked this way a half hour ago, it was totally flat, and now the water's coming in. So let's just get under this other pier. I'll point out the resort to you. This is kind of a hidden beach in the sense that most people don't know it exists. So as you see, there are very few people here. And if you go at the part that's near the resort, even on high tide, there's some sand. So people have campfires, or they just, you know, sunbathe, swim. Oh, the water got me. Okay. Maybe it'll wash off that tar that got on me. Someday I'm going to look up the history of these old abandoned piers. So far, my contribution to their history is to tell you they're old abandoned piers. Oh, see those are sun marks. The sun's coming through the holes in the pier. That's pretty cool. Sunspots on the sand. Yeah, I love the beach too. Actually, as a redhead, I don't like to sit on it because I either just burn or stay white, but I love it for the doggies because they love watching. See, isn't that a pretty picture there? Oh, up the camera. Isn't that pretty with the bird things on the old pier? So lift the camera. Okay, so do you see those white buildings? That's the resort in the background. And that's where the road ends. So the resort there is the far west end. And it's a really nice resort. I've been there, I've taught there, I've had yoga class on the lawn there. They have a spa. It's nice. And they have pools that lead right to the ocean. Super cool. Anyway, and there is a golf course right here too, just on the other side of these cliffs. So if you're a golfer, that's a benefit. And that's another oil pier, but that one's not abandoned. That one's still in business. So I'm gonna say goodbye for today. See y'all later. Please follow me, of course. I'll follow you back. Doggies, say hello. See you next time.